The OnePlus 5T is here. It is bigger, badder, and most importantly, has been launched at the same price as the OnePlus 5. Is it the modern day Android flagship for you? Hi, I'm Ershad, and that's what I'm going to find out in my review of the OnePlus 5T. The very first thing you notice about the OnePlus 5T is definitely its large 6.01-inch 80:9 display up front. This display has very tiny bezels on the sides, just like the OnePlus 5. But the bezels at the top and the bottom have now been chopped off. And therefore, you get this futuristic looking design on the front that is almost all screen. And the best part is that it is only slightly taller, wider and heavier than the OnePlus 5. I think it's a job well done by the designers at OnePlus. The OnePlus 5T's design keeps up with similarly designed smartphones from 2017 like the Samsung Galaxy S8, the LG V30 and the Mi Mix 2, among others. The 6.01-inch display itself makes use of optic AMOLED technology, and for the display nerds out there, it supports both the sRGB and the DCI-P3 color spaces. In real life usage, I found this display to be adequately bright, well saturated and pretty crisp. But I'm really craving for a 2K panel on a OnePlus flagship now. Yes, I understand that an FHD display can help improve battery life, but like the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, OnePlus could probably give us a choice between FHD and 2K. Thankfully, there's no more of that jelly screen effect anymore. Thanks to some trimming on the front panel, OnePlus has also decided to move the fingerprint scanner to the rear now. This change doesn't really affect the speed, and the new rear-mounted scanner recognizes your fingerprint before you can even blink your eyes. And there's an additional advantage of moving the fingerprint scanner to the rear. You can now use it to swipe down the notification panel or long press it to capture a photo. Both really useful features once you get the hang of it. But wait for it, there's one more thing. Yes, OnePlus has decided to take the battle to the iPhone X. Just like the iPhone X, the OnePlus 5T also has an advanced facial recognition mechanism. Setting it up is easy peasy and it works really fast as well. But that's where it works. Unlike Face ID, it doesn't work well in pitch dark, and we didn't expect it to either. However, once unlocked, I like the fact that it jumps directly into the home screen or any previously unlocked app. All said and done, OnePlus 5T's face unlocking feature is the best one on an Android phone yet. Interestingly, OnePlus has made some tweaks to the dual camera setup now as well. Brace yourself, it's gonna get a little technical now. As compared to the OnePlus 5, on which the secondary rear camera is based on a 20 megapixel Sony IMX350 sensor with an f/2.6 aperture and a focal length of 36mm, the OnePlus 5T uses a better IMX376K sensor, but with a larger f/1.7 aperture. But the focal length remains the same as that of the primary camera, which is 27.22mm. All this technical mumbo jumbo just really means that the OnePlus 5T doesn't use a secondary telephoto lens anymore. Instead, it uses a secondary camera to improve low light performance. OnePlus claims that it switches to the secondary camera when the light is below 10 lux. I used the smartphone app to test the light levels and shot a few images as well. The EXIF data from my findings clearly indicates that the OnePlus 5T is indeed switching to the secondary camera under 10 lux. As far as the end results are concerned, the low light performance has improved slightly from the OnePlus 5. You can see a little more details and a better exposure in extremely low light situations. But you're talking about nearly pitch dark, the images are not going to look good anyway. Which is precisely why it's not game changing or anything. Moving on, the portrait mode on the OnePlus 5 looks better despite the cropping. The cutout actually looks a little more natural. Take a look at these photos to judge for yourself. Also interestingly, OnePlus is pretty belligerent on the beauty mode. For instance, it is on by default even on the rear camera. Please don't forget to switch it off. Overall, image quality wise, you don't get the same level of details that you get on more expensive Android flagships, but south of rupees 40,000, the OnePlus 5T's cameras are really good. The only problem is that in this same price range, the first generation Google Pixel is also available. Now that phone has a kick-ass camera and better low light performance as well. Although before I forget, let me remind you that the 16 megapixel front camera still takes some incredible looking selfies. Enough about the cameras, let's talk about the software. There's still no Android Oreo, which is a bit of a letdown, but the only solace is that it is coming in early 2018. You still do get the wonderfully optimized Oxygen OS. It is pretty lightweight and nimble, and almost like stock Android with a few additional software tweaks. The one new software feature addition is the parallel app setting. This means you can run two instances of the same app now, which means you can have a different work account and a different personal account. The rest of the software remains the same. Check our OnePlus 5 review in case you want a refresher. As for the overall performance, the OnePlus 5T is still the beast that the OnePlus 5 originally was. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, both these smartphones would easily make it to any list of top 5 fastest Android smartphones of 2017. Gaming especially is a lot of fun. Of course, because you get more screen estate and the new game mode, which also blocks notifications.
Hello. Hey Ishan, how are you?
I'm good यार. सुन यार मैं गेम खेल रहा हूँ, थोड़ी देर में कॉल करता हूँ. I'll call you in a bit यार.
Okay, sure. Thanks.
Alright, bye. What's not fun, however, is the speaker. It is tinny and not very loud either. Call quality, on the other hand, is fairly good, and I didn't face any call drops either. In a slightly baffling move, OnePlus hasn't increased the battery size on the OnePlus 5T. It uses the same 3300 mAh battery used on the OnePlus 5. This definitely affects battery life. In our intensive battery test, I got 16 hours and 48 minutes on the OnePlus 5T, which is much lower than the 22 hours and 11 minutes that the OnePlus 5 achieved. However, in my daily usage, I got a constant screen on time of at least around 5 hours, which is pretty decent. Thankfully, dash charging still takes only about 1 hour and 30 odd minutes to charge from 0 to 100, which is godsend. In the end, the OnePlus 5T is definitely an upgrade over the OnePlus 5. Although I still think that most OnePlus 5 users need not upgrade to this smartphone unless they really want that bigger display. The other alternatives in this price range would be something like the Mi Mix 2 or the Nokia 8 and the first generation Google Pixel XL. But as a cohesive device, the OnePlus 5T is still my favorite affordable Android flagship of 2017. So guys, if you liked our review of the OnePlus 5T, don't forget to like and share our video and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, this is Eshad signing off.